The pain started the week after my 30th birthday. Not the dull ache of a pulled muscle or the sharp sting of an injury. This was fire spreading through my abdomen, wrapping around my back, making it impossible to stand upright. I was a junior accountant at Morrison & Fletcher, working my way towards CPA certification. The pain made it impossible to sit at my desk for more than 20 minutes. Endometriosis, Dr. Rachel Kim said after 3 months of tests. Stage 4. It's extensive, Naomi. Your organs are covered in adhesions. We need to do surgery immediately, followed by hormone therapy and pain management. I stared at the ultrasound images showing my insides tangled with scar tissue. How bad is it? Bad enough that without intervention you're looking at organ damage. Your left ovary is already compromised. The pain will only get worse. The treatment plan was aggressive. Laparoscopic surgery to remove the adhesions, followed by 6 months of hormone therapy that would put me into temporary menopause. Then ongoing pain management and monitoring. The out-of-pocket costs were $45,000 over the next year. I called my mother that evening. Sandra Blake was the head nurse at County General Hospital, overseeing a staff of 60 nurses across 4 departments. She'd been in healthcare for 35 years. If anyone would understand chronic pain and surgical necessity, it was her. Endometriosis. Mom's tone was dismissive. Naomi, that's just bad periods. Every woman deals with period pain. Mom, it's stage 4. Dr. Kim says my organs are. Dr. Kim is probably overreacting. These young doctors, they always want to do surgery. Have you tried taking ibuprofen and using a heating pad? I was silent, holding my abdomen as another wave of pain hit. Naomi, are you listening? I really think you're making this into something bigger than it is. You've always been sensitive to pain. I can barely work. I'm taking sick days twice a week. Maybe you need to build up your pain tolerance. When I was your age, I worked 12-hour shifts on my feet. You just need to push through it. She changed the subject to my sister Claire's upcoming promotion party. Claire was 33, a hospital administrator at County General, Mom's hospital. She'd just been promoted to director of operations. It's going to be at the Riverside Room, Mom said excitedly. We've invited everyone from the hospital board. Claire's worked so hard for this. I'm so proud of her. That's great, Mom. You'll be there, of course. Claire wants you to give a toast. When is it? October 12th. My surgery was scheduled for October 10th. Mom, I can't. My surgery is 2 days before. Long pause. Can't you reschedule the surgery? This party has been planned for months. Dr. Kim says I can't wait any longer. The damage is progressing. Naomi, this is Claire's big moment. She's your sister. Can't you just take some pain medication and show up for a few hours? I'll be 2 days post-op from abdominal surgery. It's laparoscopic, right? Those are just tiny incisions. You'll be fine. I've seen patients walking around the same day. My hands were shaking. Mom, I don't think you understand how serious this is. I'm a nurse, Naomi. I understand perfectly well. I think you're being dramatic about some menstrual cramps. Now about the toast, Claire wants you to talk about growing up together. Build up. Over the next month, the pain intensified. I started working from home full-time because I couldn't sit in the office without doubling over. My boss was understanding but concerned. I was using all my sick days and some unpaid leave. Dr. Kim increased my pain medication, but it barely touched the fire spreading through my pelvis. I had to crawl to the bathroom some mornings. I couldn't eat without nausea. I lost 15 pounds in 3 weeks. I called Mom regularly, begging her to understand the severity, asking if she'd help with the medical costs. My parents had money. Dad was a retired investment banker. They lived in a house worth $800,000, and they were paying for Claire's daughter's private school tuition. Naomi, we've already committed to helping Claire with her kitchen renovation, Mom said during one call. $45,000? That's excessive. Maybe you should get a second opinion. I've had 3 opinions. They all say the same thing. Well, maybe you need to look into payment plans. Your father and I can't just hand over that kind of money for some pain management. It's not just pain management. It's surgery to prevent organ damage. You're exaggerating. I've worked with endometriosis patients for decades. Most of them manage just fine with over-the-counter medication. I started documenting everything. Every phone call recorded with timestamps. Every text message saved. Every medical report from Dr. Kim detailing the progression of my condition and my mother's repeated statements that I was overreacting or seeking attention. The week before my surgery, Mom called to remind me about Claire's party. "You're still planning to come, right? Claire's counting on you for that toast." "Mom, I'll be in the hospital." "You'll be discharged by then. Just come straight from the hospital. It's only a few hours. I won't be able to stand, let alone give a toast." Her voice turned cold. "You know, Naomi, sometimes I think you use this health stuff as an excuse to avoid family obligations. Claire has never asked you for anything, and you can't even show up for her one important night. I have stage 4 endometriosis. You have bad cramps. There's a difference. I'll expect you at the party." She hung up. The surgery happened as scheduled on October 10th. Dr. Kim removed adhesions from my bowel, bladder, and left ovary. The ovary was so damaged they had to remove it entirely. The surgery took 4 hours instead of the planned 2. I woke up in recovery in agony with 3 laparoscopic incisions and a 4th larger incision where they'd removed the ovary. Dr. Kim came to see me that evening. "Naomi, it was worse than the imaging showed. You had adhesions wrapping around your colon. If we'd waited another month, you could have had a bowel obstruction requiring emergency surgery." My mom thinks I'm being dramatic. Dr. Kim's expression hardened. "Your mother is a nurse? Head nurse at County General. Then she should know better. This wasn't bad cramps. This was a severe medical condition that could have caused permanent damage." She paused. "Are you still expected at your sister's party tomorrow?" I nodded weakly. "You're not discharged until tomorrow afternoon at the earliest. Even then you'll need bed rest for at least a week. Who's picking you up?" "I was going to take an Uber." "Your mother isn't coming?" "She's busy with the party preparations." Dr. Kim left the room looking furious. The next evening while I was still in the hospital, Mom texted, "Where are you? Party starts in an hour. Claire is upset." I didn't respond. I was on morphine, barely conscious, with drainage tubes still attached. 2 hours later, another text. "This is incredibly selfish. You've ruined Claire's special night." What I didn't know was that Dr. Rachel Kim was also at Claire's party. She sat on the County General Hospital Board of Directors and had been invited as a courtesy. She knew Claire was my sister but hadn't made the connection to my mother until she saw Sandra Blake greeting guests. Dr. Kim approached my mother during the cocktail hour. "Sandra, I'm Dr. Rachel Kim. I believe your daughter Naomi is my patient." Mom's smile was tight. "Oh yes, Naomi. She couldn't make it tonight. Some health issues. She's in the hospital. I performed surgery on her yesterday. 4 hours to remove extensive endometriosis that had compromised several organs." Mom's face barely changed. "Well, it's laparoscopic, isn't it? She'll bounce back quickly. Young people heal fast." Dr. Kim's voice dropped. "I removed her left ovary. She has 4 incisions and will need weeks of recovery. She's on significant pain medication and shouldn't be out of bed." Several of Mom's nursing colleagues had gathered nearby, sensing tension. "Naomi tends to be dramatic about pain," Mom said, voice carrying. "She's always been attention-seeking with medical issues. Honestly, doctor, I think if she tried harder she'd be fine." The color drained from Dr. Kim's face. "Are you saying your daughter, who just underwent major abdominal surgery for stage 4 endometriosis, is being dramatic? I've been a nurse for 35 years. I know the difference between serious conditions and someone who wants sympathy. Sandra, I have your daughter's complete medical file. 3 months of documented severe pain, weight loss, inability to work. Multiple specialists confirming the diagnosis. Surgical findings showing extensive organ involvement. You're telling me that's attention-seeking?" The room had gone quiet. Claire stood frozen near the bar, champagne glass in hand. One of Mom's colleagues, a senior nurse named Patricia, stepped forward. "Sandra, you told us last month that Naomi was fine. You said she had minor cramping and was using it as an excuse to avoid work." That's not exactly what I said." "You did," another nurse confirmed. "You said she was being overdramatic. You laughed about it." Dr. Kim pulled out her phone. "I have documentation here. 3 months of emergency department visits that Naomi made alone because her mother refused to acknowledge the severity. Multiple calls to my office asking for help with costs, which were apparently denied because the family was paying for a kitchen renovation. Mom's face went red. This is a private family matter. You made it public when you told your nursing staff that your daughter was faking a serious medical condition, Dr. Kim said coldly. You're the head nurse at this hospital. Your staff looks to you for medical judgment. How many of them now believe endometriosis isn't serious because you've been minimizing your own daughter's condition? Claire finally spoke. Mom, is this true? Naomi had surgery yesterday. It's not as serious as Dr. Kim is making it sound. I removed an ovary, Dr. Kim interrupted. She's 30 years old and just lost an ovary because the disease progressed while her mother told her to take ibuprofen. One of the hospital board members, an older man in an expensive suit, stepped forward. Dr. Kim, this is a serious accusation. Sandra, you've been telling people your daughter doesn't have a real medical condition. I never said that exactly. You called her attention-seeking, Patricia said quietly. Multiple times. To multiple staff members. Some of them have daughters with endometriosis. They've been following your lead about how to treat it. The board member's face was grave. This is a problem. Sandra, we need to discuss this on Monday. First thing. Mom looked around at her colleagues, her networking contacts, the board members. Everyone was staring at her with a mixture of shock and disgust. Claire set down her champagne glass and walked out of her own party. The hospital investigation concluded within 2 weeks. Multiple staff members confirmed that my mother had repeatedly dismissed endometriosis as just bad periods, and had specifically cited her own daughter as an example of dramatic overreaction to normal pain. The board found that she'd provided medically inaccurate guidance to staff, and created a hostile environment for nurses dealing with reproductive health issues. 3 nurses came forward to say they'd felt pressured to downplay their own endometriosis symptoms because Sandra Blake had made it clear she viewed such complaints as weakness. Mom was removed from her position as head nurse. She was reassigned to a standard nursing role in the emergency department, a massive demotion with a $40,000 pay cut. The gossip spread through County General within days. Everyone knew the head nurse had neglected her own daughter's serious medical condition and called her attention-seeking at a party, only to be confronted by the surgeon who'd removed the daughter's ovary. Dad called me once, his voice shaking with anger. Your mother built her career for 35 years. You've destroyed it. She told her staff I was faking stage 4 endometriosis. You could have kept this private. You didn't have to involve her workplace. I didn't involve anyone. Dr. Kim was at the party and heard Mom call me dramatic. She told the truth. Your mother is humiliated. Her colleagues won't even look at her. I was in the hospital recovering from surgery while she was at a party. She told people I lost an ovary because I'm attention-seeking. He hung up. Neither of my parents have spoken to me since. Claire sent one text 3 weeks after the party. You embarrassed Mom in front of everyone. I hope destroying her reputation was worth it. I didn't respond. Dr. Kim continued as my doctor, managing my hormone therapy and recovery. At one follow-up she said, I've been thinking about that night. Your mother's reaction wasn't just dismissive, it was medically dangerous. She was influencing how other healthcare providers viewed endometriosis. I know. The board made the right call. She shouldn't be in a leadership position if she can't acknowledge serious medical conditions. 6 months post-surgery I was back at work full-time. The pain was manageable with hormone therapy. I'd had to deal with early menopause at 30, but I was functional again. I got my CPA certification. I moved to a better apartment. I built a life without my family's approval or presence. Mom's career never recovered. The demotion was permanent. Her professional reputation was ruined. Everyone at County General knew the head nurse who'd dismissed her own daughter's organ damage as attention-seeking. Several of her nursing friends stopped speaking to her. She became isolated at work, the cautionary tale of medical arrogance. Last month I ran into Patricia, Mom's former colleague, at a coffee shop. She recognized me immediately. Naomi. How are you feeling? Better. Much better. I'm glad. I wanted you to know. After everything came out, several nurses in our department finally sought treatment for their own endometriosis. Your mother had made them feel like they were being weak for needing help. Dr. Kim did a training session for our staff about reproductive health conditions. Things have changed. That's good. Your mother made choices. She used her authority to spread medical misinformation, and she did it publicly. The consequences were appropriate. I nodded, holding my coffee with steady hands, no longer doubled over in pain. Mom had spent 35 years building a reputation as a medical authority. She'd used that authority to convince people, including her own colleagues, that her daughter's organ damage was just attention-seeking behavior. Dr. Kim had simply told the truth at a party. The rest unfolded naturally. Some people might say I should have protected my mother, asked Dr. Kim to stay quiet, handled things privately. But I was in a hospital bed with 4 surgical incisions and a missing ovary while my mother told party guests I was being dramatic. I'd spent 3 months in agony while she told me to take ibuprofen and stop seeking attention. Dr. Kim didn't destroy my mother's career. My mother did that herself, one dismissive comment at a time. I just survived it with documentation and a surgeon who refused to stay silent. And unlike my mother's reputation, my medical records didn't lie.